I'm Eric Stafford. Today we're going to talk about movies, of course, but we're going to go through my process as a movie collector and what I actually do collecting physical media. And so we're going to see my process, how I go through it, what I actually do. You may think it's a little crazy, you may think it's a little different, but this is my way of doing it. There's a million other ways of doing it. This is Eric's way. Now, like I was saying, this is my way of collecting, and I'm known for being a cheapskate, and this is one of the cheap ways of doing things. So we're going to talk about that. A lot of physical media, people are getting away from it, so they're not really doing that much with physical media. You know, you're watching stuff on your Roku or your smart TV, and you're downloading stuff. I have said this story before. You may have heard it before or not. But I actually tried to go totally away from the physical media. And at the time, I thought it was a smart idea. And then it was when the last Fantastic Four movie came out with Miles Teller in it. And Paramount did not want people to see the Fantastic Four, or Universal. I can't remember who owned that, but anyway, it was one of the movie companies, and they did not want people to go back and watch the previous two Fantastic Four movies because they were so much better than the new one with Miles Teller, and so they took it off of all streaming media. You couldn't get it on Apple, you couldn't get it on Netflix, you couldn't get it on anything. So they kind of like ham-fisted their way into making you, if you wanted to see the Fantastic Four, the only way you were going to see it was by watching that new movie. And I was like a little perturbed by that. That's how much control they actually have. I have friends that have bought things on Apple, and I have some things on Apple. I got a lot of stuff on Apple because it's the format that's been around the longest. So I do have a lot of stuff, free movies and things like that I've gotten. But they will just pull it at the drop of a hat. I had a friend that had bought like an album, like a music album, and they pulled it. I don't remember what album it was, but I do remember that they were very upset because they couldn't access the album anymore. It was just totally gone. And that's the control that they have. If you have your own physical copy, whether it's a record or whether it's a movie or whatever you've got, then you have that control. You will always have that physical copy, and as long as you got a player that'll work with it, then you're good to go. You can watch something whenever you want to watch it. Plus, if you're a little conspiracy theory kind of person, you could say, I'm watching this and nobody knows I'm watching this. Nobody's tracking that I'm watching the Fantastic Four or whatever I'm watching. And some people, you know, appreciate that and are like, hey, you know, I don't want people knowing everything I do. It's just like when you mention something on something and Google picks it up, and then all of a sudden all your Facebook ads have all this in it. Your phone is listening. Your phone is listening all the time. People don't really realize it, but it is. And I made a point of mentioning one of my favorite places to go is Dead Wax Records here in town. And I was talking to Chris, the owner of Dead Wax Records, one day. He had his laptop open. I had a brand new iPhone. And we were talking about Superman 2 with Sarah Douglas. And all of a sudden, both him and me, the next time I saw him, he said, dude, you know, you were telling me about Sarah Douglas from Superman 2. And he said, now she has shown up in every one of my feeds on Facebook and all this stuff. And I said, same thing. You know, I had not followed the actress. I had not done any of that. But currently, all her, you know, appearances and stuff were suddenly showing up in my favorites. So, you know, it is kind of a control thing. That's a little bit of a ramble, you know, to be talking about movies and such. But there's some people that don't want people tracing what they're watching or knowing what they're watching or having control over it. And a lot of times there are some movies that are rare and the price goes up for the physical copy because they've banned something that was in it. You know, like maybe it had a behind the scenes thing and the studio didn't like the director's commentary. Well, if you've got that DVD, they can't take it away from you because you have a physical copy of it. So in my movie collecting, that's part of it. I'm starting to streamline mine a little more now to, I mean, I was always trying to get, you know, maybe if I hadn't seen it, I'd pick it up if it was cheap, like the Dollar Tree movies or something like that. But at the same time now, now that I've kind of acquired most of the stuff I want, now I'm just going for the titles I really, really want, and I'm about ready to start paring down again, but to just go with what I physically want and think, you know, I really want that on my shelf. I had a friend that said he couldn't sleep at night, not knowing that he didn't have a copy of this movie on his shelf, and I understand that. I know where it's coming from. So speaking of collecting and movies, like here's a stack. This is from the last week in April. I haven't really picked anything up in a while, but this is the stuff from last week in April, and the only reason I got this many movies was because I went to the Goodwill store in town. Goodwill store had a ton of new content, so somebody had donated a bunch of stuff, and at the Goodwill, every one of these is $1.99. Now, $1.99 is pretty cheap. Also, if it has a digital copy in it, that's pretty good. This one movie here, Quiet Place Part 2, I picked up at the pawn shop, and I had like a coupon, so I got it totally for free. I didn't even have to pay anything for it. But that was kind of the haul, the last big haul I've had. But as you can see, they got stickers on them. They got, you know, they've got the tape on them from when they were originally bought, the little plastic pull-off things, and I clean all that stuff up, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to go through what Eric does, you know, as a collector, and then on top of that, we're going to catalog them because I have software, and I'm going to show you some of that as well. And you can just see that I do kind of clean them up. Sometimes you'll get discs, especially if you get them like at a pawn shop. They'll have a lot of fingerprints on them. Especially if it's a kids movie. I got a Scooby-Doo meets Kiss movie here. If you get a Scooby-Doo movie or something like that, then its cartoons and stuff definitely have, you know, peanut butter and jelly, that kind of stuff on them. So you really have to clean them. And so especially, you know, when COVID was going on, I mean, I did it before COVID. And but you just clean them up, and we're going to go through all that. We're going to go through every little step. So let's get started. We have this fine stack. Now, are some of these movies something I would die if it wasn't on my shelf? Not necessarily. Tarzan, I do like Tarzan. I guess we could go through the list of what all of these are so that you can kind of see. Like I said, I had Quiet Place 2, and man, it was a 4K. I don't know if you bought 4Ks. I do have a 4K player, but I don't know if you bought 4Ks or not, but 4Ks usually start at $20. There's no way you can get past them being $20. If you buy a Blu-ray or a DVD at Walmart, then it might be anywhere from $20 to on down. But you could still get Blu-rays and stuff for $5.99. But 4Ks, not so much. Haven't seen the movie? Am I going to watch it? Yes, I am. Another thing is when you pick up movies like this is sometimes they do have those digital codes for like Vudu, or if you have Vudu service, if you have Apple Play, if you have the Apple stuff, Apple TV, then you can have that digital copy you can have on your phone and just download it whenever you want to, as long as they give you permission to. You know, that's what we were talking about earlier. But anyway, going through some of these movies, and some of these are not the best pickups in the world. Not talking about the content. I like the movies or I wouldn't have picked them up. But like not everything's here. Tron Legacy. I saw that movie in the theater. I do like the movie, but I think one of the discs is missing because this was like a total edition thing. And I do believe that it's got the DVD, but not the regular Blu-ray, but it's got the 3D Blu-ray. You have to have a special 3D player to be able to play that, or a PlayStation 3 will play it. That's just for your wisdom there. Righteous Kill, De Niro and Pacino, $1.99. Haven't seen it. Want to see it. Okay. Hunger Games is an excellent movie. I did not have it, believe it or not. It's not like something I was dying to have, but hey, for $1.99, yep, picking it up. Event Horizon, which is a great scary movie. The people kind of call it like the black hole if it was an actual adult horror movie, and it's just really terrifying, and I was happy to find that because it's kind of hard to find the Blu-ray of it anyway. Skyline is a movie I'd gotten the sequel to at like the Dollar Tree, and I never did watch it, and I got rid of it because I never could find Skyline. Hey, guess what? I found Skyline. I guess I shouldn't have got rid of that one. But being as the sequel's at the Dollar Tree, it may pop up again. Inception. I had this at one time. It's a Christopher Nolan movie, the guy that did The Dark Knight and all those. And it's got Leonardo DiCaprio in it. It's pretty good. I don't know if you've seen it or not. It's a really good movie. But I had kind of let that one go and regretted it. So for $1.99, that's a great pickup. The Legend of Tarzan, which I don't know if you saw or not, but The Legend of Tarzan was the latest Tarzan movie with Alexander Skarsgård. And I saw it and I liked it. It's him and Samuel L. Jackson. And it's a good film if you haven't seen it. But it's really strange. Like they're swinging, in the tree. He's swinging in the trees, like you would see him do. But it looked like there was a lot of digital fog all the time. It was like, it seemed like they were constantly in a fog. And I thought, yeah, that's a good way of not having to show anything. I'm a big Jason Statham fan. I don't know if you know him or not, the guy that was a transporter and he's been in the Expendables and all that. But I really do like him. I think he's a good actor and I enjoy seeing him. And I just think he's funny. I enjoy he's funny enough, but he's got the Britishness of it. And but at the same time, he's this tough guy, but then he talks like the Geico lizard. So I think that's hilarious. But the Geico gecko, hey, we're just going over here, going over there, do that. And I just think he's hilarious. But I do enjoy him in action movies. And of course, like I said, Scooby-Doo and Kiss. And if you haven't seen Scooby-Doo and Kiss, if you're a Kiss fan, if you're a comic book fan, I will tell you it has one scene in particular where Kiss and Scooby-Doo have to travel through basically what is a boom tube. And if you don't know what a boom tube is, it's from DC Comics and the New Gods, and it's a way of traveling. It's like a big boom happens, and then there's a tunnel, and then you walk through it, kind of like from the Masters of the Universe movie, if you ever saw that back in the 90s. But anyway, there's a scene where they go through this boom tube, and everything in it looks like Jack Kirby drew it. So, which is a great homage from the animators, that they made it look like a Kirby boom tube, and then, cosmic crackle and all that. And it's just, that scene alone is worth picking this up for, especially for $1.99. So now that you've seen the inventory, now that you've seen what we've got, now we're going to start the cleaning process. Okay, and as I stated earlier, here is our receipt. All videos were $1.99 if you go there and pick those up. Most pawn shops and Dollar Trees and all that stuff is somewhere between $1 and $2. So there's that. So everybody knows that I am a cheapskate. Like I say, I picked this one up for free. We're going to look through them and see how clean they are. And a lot of times, as far as as being a collector and getting a slip cover, a lot of people like the slip covers. And sometimes it's hard to get a slip cover, so sometimes you might pick it up just to get said slip cover. I know folks have done that, especially if it's a cheap price. But we're going to pop this out and look at it, see how it's going. Of course, it comes with, it's got the Blu-ray and the 4K Blu-ray. So we're going to look at them, see what they look like, see if they hold up. That looks pretty good. I will wipe them off on my shirt a lot of times if they've got dust on them before I put them in. And so Quiet Place Part 2, looking pretty good so far. No dirt on the case, no dirt on anything. So unless anything's standing out, then I'm usually pretty good. So we are going to consider this one clean enough and well, and we will put it down here. And as you can see, I just have a few cleaning products. I've got some alcohol wipes if I need them. Mainly I'm going to use just window cleaner and paper towels. If there's something really gunky on there, then I might have to use isopropyl alcohol or hand sanitizer. You can do either one. Now, going back through the movies, we have Tron Tron Legacy 3D, and which is actually kind of a cool case because it's kind of a thick case. It does have security in it. You have the little security barcode thing, which I worked at Blockbuster, and so I hate these things, so there goes that. I do think these are kind of cool to keep sometimes to see what they were offering at the time. You know, it's kind of a little bit of movie history, like Phineas and Ferb. I mean, do you remember watching Phineas and Ferb on Disney Channel? Also, Disney movie rewards. You can go and sign up and all that stuff. If you've signed up for movie rewards, which all this is totally changed now. This is dated. But I do like to keep these things because it's a little bit of history, and you can go back and look at it. But like I say, I think this is missing a disc. It's supposed to have the 3D Blu-ray, the 2D Blu-ray, the DVD, and a digital copy. And when we open it up, we have the 3D Blu-ray, which you have to have a special player for. We have the DVD. Then we have missing disc, which is the regular Blu-ray, which is probably in somebody's player. And then we have the digital file copy. Now, a lot of times what they used to do is they would have a disc that you actually copied the file. Now, some of that software is so old that you can or cannot copy it. So that's another thing. And if you can copy it on either a Mac or Windows, then you can copy it. But you can copy it off, and then you could transfer it to either one. So if you've got both kind of PCs in your house, then or around you, you can probably get some form of copy of it off of this disc and onto a personal player or something you can carry on your phone. But like I say, one disc is missing. We're going to look and see how dirty these are, because it is a kids movie mostly, being Disney and all. And sometimes these things don't want to come off these little spindles. So we're going to look. DVD looks good. Overall, I basically got a DVD copy of this movie for this. And for $1.99, that's not bad. And a little bit of history. But all these discs look incredibly clean. You saw me throw away the digital code, the electronic protection. And I do tend to do that. I just hate them. I hated them when I worked at Blockbuster. And so I try to get rid of them. Let's put our accoutrements back in here. And so we have our movie trivia stuff in there. And then, which Tron Legacy is not a bad movie if you've not seen it. I really do like it. It has good special effects, and I thought it was kind of underrated at the time, and I wish it would have been more of a success, because I would like to see a third one. The first original Tron movie is kind of hard to watch, but it's a little boring. But Disney movies in the late 70s were boring. I'm sorry. Okay, now looking at, well, that's one thing I didn't think about, is it does have the little side sticker for the Dollar Tree or for Goodwill. And I hate these gun stickers more than any other kind. So we probably will hit that up at some point. We're going to just try to get all the stickers off right now. That's our main goal. And all of these have them on the spine, so from the Goodwill. So we will put those over there. Now this copy of Righteous Kill has, I am getting the side copy, the side sticker off, but it's got another sticker from someplace else. Oh, from the National Pawn Store or something. See, $8.99, so $1.99 is not bad. These are like, you can see them as historical, and if you want to hang on to them, that I can tell you that right there is going to peel. If you really want to get stickers off easily, you might run a hairdryer across it and get it hot, or lay it out in the sun, especially if it's summertime here in the South. But let's pop this bad boy open and see what's going on. Okay, I don't know if you can see it or not, but right up here, you know the clear tape that goes across the top? The clear tape, some of it's still there. So you might can see it when I do that. There you go. But I hate that too. So clean that off. There it is. For those of you who couldn't see it and you didn't believe me, there it was. But anyway, I hate those things. And for some reason, some Blu-ray cases, and I'm guessing what movie studio was this. I have no idea. But anyway, there was some movie studios did that. If you hate that little thing right there, you can actually just rip it off. And it's like a little locking mechanism, but I don't know who was trying to lock it up to keep it from going anywhere. But anyway, you can just rip it off like that, and then you got it. Now, here we go. We've got Righteous Kill on, that's your digital copy yet again. That's how old these are. So now they just give you a code. Then here's your Blu-ray. We're going to check and see how dirty they are. I mean, it never hurts to go over them with an alcohol pad, and that way you can see kind of what's going on with them. But then on top of that, I really hate these things because it's the same as the metal detector thing over there, but this is more the kind we had at Blockbuster. And usually I can about break a fingernail trying to get these off, but I just hate to have them in there, so I take them off. It'll usually leave a big chunk of sticky right there. But if you just go back over it with the sticky that's on there, then you can kind of get it off. So not a big deal. You might hit that with alcohol pad too. Next up we have the Hunger Games, and it says it has an ultraviolet code. We will see how that is, but it does have a slip case. Looks like the artwork has come loose a little bit on this, so we're going to try to straighten that up. It's actually snuck out the back. Man, this is doubly secure. They're really worried about this particular film getting out there. Must have been an original release because it's got this and it's got a sticker stuck in here. Usually these stickers that are stuck in there are so hard to get out that I might leave them, but hey, it's going to leave a little residue. But let's look at our, there's the Blu-ray with the special features, and here's the Blu-ray with the movie itself. Let's see if I can get it off the little spindle. Looking at the movie itself, not bad at all. Looks pretty clean. Of course, we can get rid of the security tag here. Like I say, I usually do end up with a little silver stripe or something like that if it don't come off completely. That one came off very good. So we got that down. Then of course we're going to look at the special features Blu-ray, and it looks pretty good itself. I'm going to set it aside because we're going to try to get this goofy security thing, which I see is already not cooperating. But I just really hate these. And you see that you can, with a little work, you're going to be able to get that out. But that's a process, so we're going to let that go for a little bit. But at least I got my metal security tag out of it, which I freaking hate those. I don't know why. It's just something that irks me, I guess because I worked at Blockbuster and we had them on everything. So not a bad copy. Everything looks good. If you've not seen the original Hunger Games, I've seen all the movies, but the first one is the best one. I mean, I guess you could say that about any movie franchise, but I really did like the first one. And of course, filmed locally. I had a friend that's in District 12 that you see her standing in District 12. She's a very thin lady. And I always thought that was funny because she's in the starving city. But and was cast that way. So okay, we have two stickers on the side of this one for Event Horizon from Goodwill. And we will get these off. Like I say, these sticker gun stickers are just such a pain because, and next to this, I do a lot of books this way too, and I will say next to this, the worst is Ollie's. Ollie's has horrible stickers. You can't ever get them off of anything, and I know they are trying to protect their investment, but at the irritation of collectors, I will say. How's that? That does have a little bit of a stick to it, so we might have to hit it with some Goo Gone. I don't have any Goo Gone here with me. That's kind of a home thing. I didn't have it with me, but you know, you can always get stuff off with Goo Gone. And sometimes, you know, like this case overall is just kind of dirty, and you don't think so, but you know, the plastic is dull. So that's how I know. But like, here's like an important notice. That's an archaeological find. If you know. I think they upgraded Blu-ray players at one point, and it's like, you know, this might not work in your player, dude, because you might have an old player. So let's look at the back of the disc. I do see little fuzzies on there. I actually see a scratch on this one or something. Yeah, a pretty good scratch on the back of it. So we don't know if that's going to work out or not, but for $1.99, it's worth the investment. It's worth the risk. That's another thing. You got to be able to price your risk and say, you know, do I really want that movie? I really want that movie. And then sometimes you'll find out, like Tron, you might be missing a disc, but we'll see what we can do. See if it works out. See if it's in our favor. Skyline here, Don't Look Up, which is about alien invaders, I believe. But, you know, pretty clean. Universal's known for not doing really anything special with their disc. Actually, they're known as kind of being kind of heinous for not having good disc. Back to the Future, anybody? So they're kind of known for that. But anyway, Skyline, I think, is a foreign movie that's been dubbed or whatever. But anyway, there we go with that. That looks pretty good. We're going to check Inception. I do see this sticker hanging off the side. Now, of course, you're going to run into this. You're going to run into this sometimes, and there's a little bit of wear or the plastic's tore. This is where buying cases and stuff at Dollar Tree, this is where it comes in to help you, because you can buy the next time you find a case for like $1 or something, with a movie that you hate or you don't even like or you don't even care about, you can put you can transfer this just like you would a DVD or CD or any of that stuff. And look, this case, it has a lot of wear on it anyway, but it definitely has some wear right there where it's tore the paper a little bit, not nothing big, but just to let you know that that's there. And if you're a collector, you might want to keep that clean. Disc looks good. I will say that it's pretty clean. And yeah, you always try to straighten them up, but look at that, it just spins right around. So not too bad overall. Might need a new replacement case. We'll keep that on the radar. Tarzan. Now, I've seen brand new copies of this. This movie must not have done well, and I've seen brand new copies of this at Dollar General, or the Dollar General store, and I've seen new copies of it there. But for $1.99, I think it's going for $7.95 for the Blu-ray and then $4.95 for the DVD. This has both of those in there, and got it for $2. That DVD disc looks a little scratched and a little dirty. We will clean that up. The Blu-ray disc hopefully looks better. Oh yeah, they obviously had a DVD player, not a Blu-ray player. So we will clean that up. This one also has, I know you can see it, kind of like wrinkled paper. It's either gotten really hot or something that's kind of melted out a little bit. If you want to get pristine cases, you can order cases on Amazon to replace stuff with. I've even known people that order different color cases that hate the blue, that have ordered like black cases to try to offset their collection, that they know that their collection has nothing but black cases. So if they give one for a friend to borrow, then, you know, they know it's their copy. It's just like any other library. It's like any other, you know, a lot of people have nameplates for their books. Then that's another thing. Now this one in particular, it's got the Goodwill sticker, but it's also got all its original stickers that they just ripped apart to kind of get off there, and that drives me insane. So I can't stand it. That's going to have to come off, and probably will need to be cleaned, because there's nothing picks up dirt and grime more than a sticker with the exposed sticky bits, which I never have quite understood why folks would leave those on. But we're going to peel slowly. And the only thing I would say about that, like that one did break off and there's a little tab here. But, you know, the colder it is in the room. If it's winter time, set it in the sun. Anytime you have something sticky, like a label or a sticker, and it's cold, it's that much harder to take it off. That's all I'm going to say about that. So the warmer, the better. So we have all this. I mean, this movie's going to look a million times better just from taking all this crap off of it. And yes, I said crap, I'm sorry. But anyway, that case is fine. It's just, it just looked ratty because it had that ratty stickers on it. Now this one has a Voodoo gift card, which is obviously out of date. Going back a little ways, you can keep that for historical reference if you want. These are all the movies that were currently on Blu-ray at the time. There's another one of those. Sometimes I try to take those off, sometimes I don't. because sometimes it's just too hard to mess with. But these little jobbers right here, they're pretty good to pop off. Worst comes to worst, you can always get a pocket knife or a screwdriver, and you can usually get those off. But they pop off pretty easy. And then, on top of that, we're going to pop out Mr. Jason Statham and see. Oh yeah, that disc looks good. Pristine. And on this side, it just has the recycle. So, I am going to be a stickler and try to get this off of here, but I doubt it comes off. This is one of those hairdryer moments. I am in an air-conditioned building right now, but I just really hate these things. And I don't know why. It's just, I don't know. It's just a kind of, it's the whole point of physical media. It's don't tell me what to do, don't take away my freedom. If I want to, not that I'm saying you have freedom to steal it, just, I mean, sometimes they just worry like way too much about some of this stuff. Is it going to kill somebody if like somebody steals one of these out of a dime store? Not really. So that to me is funny in itself. But I guess that's what the writer's strike's about right now. It's dating this piece right here, but that's what's going on. So Jason Statham not looking too bad. Actually a pretty good cover. We'll go over it with a towelette here in a minute. Now this is one I wanted to talk to you about because it is a DVD instead of a Blu-ray. It does have the Goodwill sticker that we're going to take off. But I noticed that the case is broken, and that does happen. And like we were talking earlier about replacing the Blu-ray cases, DVD cases are probably even easier to find because computer software and so many other things have them. But when you open this up, you can see that it's broke up here in this spot. If we take away our Scooby-Doo Lego advertisement, then we can see that the case itself is broken right there, which is really irritating, especially with the new super cheap cases where they try to cut the plastic out. We're going to check out this disc. Disc looks great. For a kids movie, it looks especially great. We're going to set our artwork to the side, and now I'm going to show you something kind of different about how we're going to do this. Because I am a movie collector, I will say that sometimes I will pick up movies at Dollar Tree, especially like this disc case I picked up. I picked up the movie that was in it because Dollar Tree was having their movies too. You know, everything's $1.25 now, so really I'll change the name to 5 quarters. That's just my personal thing on that. But Dollar Tree had 2 movies for $1.25. And so my take on that is that I got this here. I bought like 10 of this movie. My wife's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I need the cases. If you order the cases from Amazon, they'd be like $20. And this thing was basically 62.5 cents. Bought these extra cases, and then now I have an extra case. I just threw the disc away. I threw the card away, the artwork. Didn't need that. All I wanted was this case. And not only that, this is a better case because it doesn't have the cheapy, more modern case, which they've started doing, which is just flimsy as all get out. So, and that's probably what caused it to break. So all I've really got to do is swap this one with this one. So we pop the movie out, which the copy of the movie looked pretty good. I mean, for a kid's movie especially. And we pop that in. So that part's finished. As far as the artwork goes, we just slide it out. There it is. We can toss our damaged case. Grab our artwork and make sure you get your stuff lined up. The artwork is always on the empty side. The front is always on the empty side on a DVD case. Slide it through the cellophane there and kind of pick it up a little bit because it kind of accordion it out a little bit, and then you can line it up proper. And I'm going to keep my Scooby-Doo Lego advertisement because it's a little historical document. And anyway, there I have a brand new case, and it cost me 60 some cents. So, and look how much better that looks. So this one is pretty much clean and ready to go. We're going to do a moist towelette here. We've got some alcohol wipes. We're going to put an alcohol wipe over the rest of these, and we'll get on with that. Okay, now we're going to talk about software. This is an iPad. You can use a phone, but I use a software called CLZ Movies. I also have CLZ Books and CLZ Comics. When CLZ Movies came out, I picked that up for only I think $9.95 for a lifetime membership, and now you have to pay like a monthly subscription, like so many of these things. But I do have CLZ Movies. I have it on my phone, and I have it on my laptop as well. So and also on here. So all I got to do is to find out what's in my collection, or if I have it or not. With my phone, I can look and see if I have that movie right then, or what edition I have of that movie. If I'm wanting something different, like I'm such a big Star Wars geek, Planet of the Apes geek, that sometimes I have different editions of the movie just because of the artwork and different things that are available, because that's what I was talking about with paring down my collection. Now here is the software. We're going to see how large we can. We got like the images, and you can do different things with it. You can do cover flow to where it's like that used to be the way they used to do it on the iPad and all that stuff. or you can do just images. So this is like my list of movies, and I've got them listed. You can change how you list them in CLZ movies. You can change, like if you want them to do them by format, you can do them by purchase date, by purchase price. You can change all that different stuff with them. But what I like to do is I like to go by title. And so we will apply, and there's title. Now, because it is a software, it also has like the IMDb rating for it. You've got whether you saw it or not yet. The eyeball's marked out. I haven't watched this particular movie. And it's also got a trailer down here. So if you're hooked up to the internet, you can actually see what the movie's about and what's going on. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to add these movies here. I'm going to add them to the software. So all we have to do for that is go to the plus symbol down here, and it's going to scan the barcode. So we grab the movie, we scan the barcode, and you will see that it says A Quiet Place. And I'm going to add to the collection. And it's going to ask me, where did I get it? And I have a new location. We're going to say, you know, I got this at Steve's. I got this at Steve's pawn shop. And that's my destination where I got it. And that's the purchase date, and we will go with, thinking it was actually the end of April. So we're going to say April 27th. We're done with that. So we say April 27th. Purchase price, I didn't pay anything for it, so 0.00. And then add to my collection. Add to collection. And so now if we go back and get out of this, then that's the movie that come up, and look, the trailer come up and all that. So Quiet Place, it's now like highlighted here in alphabetical order, and so there's Quiet Place 4K, and so now that's been added. Now you can do a bunch at a time. You don't have to do them one at a time like that, but I kind of wanted to give you an idea and let you see that. And so now we're going to we go through here, I think it'll give me the add button. Yeah, there's the add button. So now we're going to scan all of them and see what happens. There's Tron. Righteous Kill. Hunger Games. Event Horizon. Skyline. Inception. Legend of Tarzan. Bank Job. And Scooby-Doo and Rock and Roll Mystery. So I say add 9 to collection. Purchase price $1.99. Quantity 1, purchase store. Got these at the Goodwill. Goodwill, Lenore. And we're going to add those 9 to the collection. Add as new. Add as new. I must have already added these because that's why it's giving me this. If I have, then I'll take them back out, but that's really easy and just a little housekeeping. But so there, everything's been added in, and I'll see that we do have multiple copies of that, and we can delete it. But that's how easy it is just to add these in and also know what you got, and it's just as easy to take it out. Like that in particular one, I go down here to Action and say remove, and it will remove it. And there I only have one copy of Kiss. in there, and Scooby-Doo. So that's how that works. If you don't like the artwork, like I noticed the artwork for Tarzan was different. Let's see, Legend of Tarzan. The Legend of Tarzan. And it'll also, like, here's the Atomic Brain. And the Atomic Brain, I don't have that particular movie, or it shows up in that case, but I do have it as this, which is in a case of 10 horror movies. So it will actually separate them by movie. I noticed it did that with some Droopy cartoons too. The Droopy cartoons are Mutts About Racing. So it has different things. The Hertzog, Natasha Kinski things, Werner Herzog movies. Anyway, it will show up as the separate film. But going back, and here's Legend of Tarzan. There's Legend of Tarzan, but as I go back through and find Tarzan here, our case doesn't look like their case. So you can actually go and find the case that you want, go into Edit, and then you can go to the cover and then change what the cover actually looks like. I will say in Edit, it did do this as Blu-ray, but it's got a DVD cover to it, so that's what happened with that. But that's how you can finesse and do your movie collection. So now you know. That's how I put these together. That's how they go in my collection. In my collection at home, I have an entire bookshelf that's just that. I've got a lot of Blu-rays and DVDs that's under my TV set. And so that's how I do it. That's how I keep my collection up to date. Know what I got, know what I don't got, know what I'm looking for, and or holes I have missing in movies I want to get. But like I say, here lately, I'm trying to redefine my collection. Sometimes you end up picking up movies you want to see, like The Bank Job. I haven't seen this. I might really hate it. It was only $1.99, so then I might just get rid of it. You can actually, there are some places like Dead Wax Records just take trade in. The pawn shops take trade in usually. You can trade them out and maybe find something new or something you like, and it not cost you nowhere near as much. So instead of paying $20 right off the bat, you can be a cheapskate like me and get these a little cheaper. That's kind of, I'm the cheap movie guy. We're kind of known for that. But anyway, that's just how I collect them. However you collect movies, posters, memorabilia, it's entirely up to you. But I just wanted to share my passion with you, and I hope you have a great day.